going to be not muted. So I'll fix that right away. But all right, there we go. Yeah, that is correct. I am not muted. Okay, fixed. Hi.
Hi.
Welcome to Next Level from Level with Emily. We're excited. We're back after a break of, I don't think we've done Next Level for a couple of weeks, or maybe we did a couple in July. But last week I really wanted to go to the lake, which was amazing and worth it because it was like 95. But yeah, we're back at it this week. We have a new episode coming out on Friday, which is super exciting. I host the show. I'm Emily, and Sam Keenan is here with me, and he's the producer. He mixes the show, and we've been doing this together for a very long time. So, hi, Sam.
Hi.
Yeah, so it was nice to kind of just have a pause. I still did interviews. We're booked out into well into September at this point, so that's exciting. Like interviews done already, so that still happened, but we kind of took a pause from the, hard work of editing the show every week and turning that around. So it was good to have a little space away. How have you been? I say
I'm
like
doing
I never
good.
see you. I see you all the
Yeah,
time.
I know. I still saw you and all that, but I'm doing good.
Yeah, good. Yeah, I mean, let's just jump in. I mean, there's no need
Okay.
to dally. That this week the new episode features Oleksa Lozowchuk. He's been on the show a few different times, talking about many different types of projects. He for many years worked at Capcom on Dead Rising, the Dead Rising games, which always had just eclectic scores, zombie kind of humorous zombie survival horror situations, but with great music all over the place. So we've had him on to talk about that. He's talked about some of the standalone classical music he's written. Just all kinds of things. And this time we're talking about Horizon Forbidden West, which came out last year, but they just had some new DLC drop called Burning Shores. And so he and I talked about Burning Shores. I didn't even ask you before we dove into this if you had a chance at all to get into the episode yet.
I haven't gotten into the episode too much, but I did listen to some of the music. I was actually kind of wanting to go back and listen to some of his other music from past episodes, just because I remembered him from being on before. But it seems like it's been a while. But
yeah, he was on last year briefly to talk about a couple of the tracks that he had before Forbidden West dropped. Forbidden West being the second game in the Horizon series. So
yeah,
he talked about like one of the boss battles. I think we talked about. So yeah, but that was it. That was like a track we talked about.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I was just kind of was curious after just listening to music from this stuff that he did for the DLC stuff, extra things.
Yeah. Whoa.
First of all, really cool that they're able to bring him on to do like so many tracks for DLC,
Right.
Oh,
you should see the full
prioritizing
soundtrack.
that.
Yeah. I mean, because he's not the only composer. Yours to Man writes, and I think a composing duo called The Flight. I think I could be getting these things wrong. Forgive me if I do. But there's several other big time AAA composers on there, and so his DLC, his part of the DLC. I mean, yeah, it's like a fraction of that. I didn't mean to derail that, but go on. Yeah.
No, totally. Yeah, just like so that's cool. And and I just really I liked what I heard of the music a lot, and it hit on like some things that I'm just kind of interested in and curious about in general and kind of lately. But so I wanted to go back and listen to his other music. And I can, but like but I'm just curious if this was something new for this soundtrack or if this is kind of what he always does. I don't really remember, but I mean the one of the things was just the general overall mix and blend of everything is like super warm and
Yep.
like all the low end is really under control frequency wise, but it sounds really like soft and warm. Everything's like
Yeah.
round and even things that could be harsh, it's like there's no harshness. It just feels really good.
Yep.
And one of the things that one of the other things that just was interesting to me, because it's something that I like, and you tend to notice it right away when people do it, and that is at least from the stuff I heard, there's a lot of like drone going on,
Yeah. Yeah.
and
There is.
it's
He talks
like
about
how
it.
in Indian music, they a lot of times they'll have like literally like a little drone box. I
Yeah.
forget what they're called. There's a name for them,
He's seen.
they'll just play the root note or whatever
Mm-hmm.
the whole
Mm-hmm.
time, and it like lays out this blanket for everything
Yeah.
to kind of dance around on.
Yeah.
And I really like how that feels musically. So that's what I'm talking about. Those things were like
Yeah. That's
coming
the
out
same
at
one.
me that I just like. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. So I'm pretty sure I'll know once it starts. There's a track where the cellist, who is Oleksa's brother-in-law, Blair Lofgren. Blair is a professional cellist with, I think, the Toronto Symphony. So he's like legit, right? I
Okay,
mean,
cool. Yeah.
dude makes a living as a cellist.
Right.
And they're just frequent collaborators together. They're just kind of musical muses for each other. And so Oleksa constantly has cello in his scores, as one should.
Mm-hmm.
And so
Yeah.
in this one, Blair, and obviously Blair isn't actually physically holding this note the entire track. I'm sure that there's some looping involved and
Mm.
some trickery digitally, but it's one note in the bass of the cello, like you're saying, a drone, the
Yeah.
whole song.
Okay. Yeah.
So I think it's for his amusement. Well, I'll know pretty quickly. Here we go. I don't think so. Might be above and below. I don't remember if it's this one or not. I can't.
Doesn't
I'd
sound
have
like
to
it so far,
no,
but
no.
yeah.
I'd have to go. I'd have to go back to the interview to know for sure. So forgive me for that.
That's
I mean,
okay.
there's only 8 tracks. We could figure it out pretty quickly. But
Yeah.
this track is awesome.
Right.
And
Yeah.
this
That's a good one.
it's great. And we can get back to the drone thing in a minute. But that track that I landed on, which is called Above and Below, is a good example. Oleksa talks about his process on how
Mm.
he wrote that track. And I think that he has a unique approach. I really do. When I think back in the Rolodex of composers and thinking about how, the ones that I've talked about, how did you make this track? Which, to be fair, is most of them, right? I
Right.
feel like Oleksa has kind of a more unusual approach, and so
Mm.
I loved that part of the conversation. No need to give it away, but
Okay.
when he talks about above and below, but yeah, should we try and find the drone tune? I can totally try and find the
Well,
drone tune.
I wrote a couple tunes down.
Oh,
One of them,
good.
one of them had a note that it was very rich chords and beautiful. And that's the idea of home.
Oh yeah.
So maybe maybe that's one of the ones that has that sort of drone
It's
thing.
not too droney, this one.
Okay.
This one also has some really beautiful cello playing from Blair in it, and also features the 2 singers, Julie Elvin,
Yeah. That
who
was the other thing. The singers are great.
yeah, oh, the singers are amazing. And Julie has this really like chocolatey, rich voice,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
it's kind of got that, I think of it like almost a vibration to it that, just like a good radio voice might have, where it's got
Mm-hmm.
a lot of bass tones in it, And then Melissa Kaplan, who worked with Oleksa on a lot of Dead Rising stuff, but also I first heard her in Assassin's Creed and Yes for Kids music. She's the singer on those iconic freaking,
Okay.
I mean, it's just iconic stuff. And I've reached out for an interview so many times at this time through Oleksa, and I just don't think she's into it. So that bums me out. But we'll see. I don't know. I'm hoping that I'll still hear back, but I don't know. I don't think she's into it. And Melissa, like on the opposite end of Julie, has this really clear, pure, clean sound. Not that Julie's is dirty. It's just, and so I love the contrast in their voices. But so they both sing on this too. We can listen to quite a bit of this. It starts with a really lovely guitar thing. And cello. I do hear the drone, you're right. Yeah. That flute.
And the voice just sneaks in there.
Yeah. It's kind of sort of just ramping up. I feel bad.
Yeah, well, there's more where that came from,
Yep.
Like,
It's so good. It's so good.
Yeah.
And Oleksa has talked in the past on I can't remember which conversation, but he has some kind of plug-in or something. Some kind of visualizer attached to whatever DAW he uses, which I don't know what that is, that shows him the color spectrum of his music. And so for this one, he'd say, oh, it's as blue can get. Like that's how warm, blue is warm in the spectrum, I guess.
Yeah,
so,
right.
So I love that. And so for me, I think of like just a blue flannel heated blanket or something, just being like wrapped in this. It's just so cozy and, it's, he's so good at that. I mean, he's very good at that. One of my favorites is Steel Snare. I don't know if you had a chance to listen to that one. But
I don't remember how that one goes, but
this one has some really, first of all, I love the way it starts, and then it has some really great percussion. I love how outbursty the percussion gets. So we'll listen to this for, because it kind of starts kind of nefariously, and then it gets a little hectic. So we'll listen to a little bit of this one, Steel Snare from Horizon Forbidden West, Burning Shores. This is Melissa Kaplan singing.
Pretty droney.
What?
Droney.
Yeah. This is great. This isn't the one with the outbursty percussion. That one is
No.
called Ruins Rise. I screwed that up. But
Okay. I mean,
but
it does have some outbursty percussion
it
still,
does.
but yeah.
It does. And yeah, this one, yeah, it starts with it even, right? I mean,
Yeah.
yeah. Yeah, I mean, I would have a hard time picking an actual favorite. I really love this whole soundtrack. All right, here's Ruins Rise though. Yeah.
Yeah. It's so huge and great.
So huge and great. It's ridiculous. Yeah, it's so great. Like he has a melodic knack. It's a gift, you know. He can write melodies, and he writes memorable melodies and fresh melodies, and it's a challenge for a lot of people and just not for him. He just has a very special gift for that, and it just makes all his music great.
Right.
And you know, if you go back and you listen to his Dead Rising stuff, there's so much of it. Oh my God, there's so much music from those Dead Rising games. And he had an opportunity to write so many songs, like for radio and stuff. And so he's just a really great songwriter too. And yeah, I don't know. I love it. I love Oleksa.
Yeah.
Loved talking to him. Yeah.
It's good stuff. It's just like it's one of those things that comes up from time to time that it's like with his melody writing, it seems easy when you listen to it. Like,
I know.
It seems, oh, that's just a simple little melody, but
yeah,
it's not easy to find those unless you are good at it, you know?
Right. And part of what makes it so good, in my opinion, is how he structures the track, right? And that's the part that is super hard, right? Is like, how do you carry the tension? How do you resolve the tension? How do you make someone feel loved or make someone feel scared, or all in a 2.5 minute track, you know? And he's just,
right.
Yeah, he's very, very good at that. And he talks a lot about that too. He's like, well, you know, you need the this and then you need the that. So I wrote the that, you know, and I'm just like, well, great, good. I mean, yeah.
That's cool. I'm excited for that, actually, because I haven't listened to the interview yet.
Right,
so like,
yeah.
I'm excited for that. That's my favorite stuff. I like when composers get into that kind of stuff. You know what I mean?
Yeah, he talks about that a lot, and I think he thinks it in that way. He says as much, you know, you have to structure this kind of thing, or whether he's talking about a cinematic, because some of these are cinematics. I would say it's a mix of cinematics and battle music. The one we started with, where I was like, here's the drone track, and it wasn't the drone track. That track called Above and Below is a fight where you're on a big mechanical bird. And so that's why that melody does a lot of this, right? So, so he talks in that about structuring that boss fight. And yeah, he's an amazing fella.
Yeah.
Always love having him on the show. So, yeah.
Cool. Well, it's a good return episode after our break.
It is. It is.
It's a very like, this is like, you know, it seems like what the show really is, this kind of episode, you know. It's like very video gamey music, like you know, this guy's a real deal player. Sounds like he gives real information about his craft, and That's what it's all about.
Talks about some of the plugins he uses. One called Alter Boy, which we've had people have talked about Alter Boy before on the show, but yeah, he talks about some cool stuff. So yeah, it was a good time and good conversation with him. And yeah, I just yesterday spoke with David Housden. He did the music for Disney Illusion Island, and I downloaded it and played some of it on Switch. It's a Switch game, and that game was like shockingly amazing. I mean, maybe not shockingly, because Disney has had some. They've made some good games in the past, but many actually. But this is like a little co-op platformer, and you like hug your partner to heal them. It's very sweet. And
Okay.
if you picture those old cartoons with the hand painted backgrounds, that's what the background looks like. So it's cool. The plants are like just one drawing. I mean, yeah, it's really, I loved it. So, and I loved talking to David. So that was a nice long conversation with David.
That's cool. Yeah, we got a chance to hang out with him a time or two at some conventions and things. And yeah, he was a real fun.
He's the best.
Down to earth dude.
Yeah, super cool dude. So love talking with him, and yeah, so many things. I'm going to stop myself there. But yeah, lots of good stuff coming up. So, all right. Well, do you have anything else you want to say? Did you have other tracks you wanted to mention?
I don't need to. I don't think.
You can if you want. I mean, I don't care.
Yeah, I mean, okay. I'd say just check out the episode. I think we kind of covered what was kind of exciting me about it. But yeah, but I'm gonna listen to that soundtrack more just because of those things we were talking about, and I'm kind of curious about analyzing it a little bit. So I'm glad that he gets into talking about the nuts and bolts a little bit too. But because it's weird, like the like music in general, you kind of just. You've got rhythm, you've got low end, you've got something laying down some chords of some kind, and then you've got something laying down the melody, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
It's just amazing how, people like him can take these elements that somebody else will use all the exact same pieces, and it just sounds so different. And so, really good in a lot of ways. Yeah. It's just interesting. Those things are interesting, and the drones is a big one. So yeah.
Yep. Yeah, I loved it. I loved talking to him. I am sort of playing the game finally. There were other massive RPGs in my way from the time that came out, basically, and littler games too, like the Oxenfrees have taken up quite a bit of my summer. And continue to do so, even though that interview is finished, sadly. So yeah, I'm kind of I've dipped my toes into the beginning of Forbidden West, where you're kind of getting reacquainted with the story of what happened at the end of Zero Dawn, which was the first Horizon game. And I've said before, maybe not to you, but it's probably my favorite. One of my favorite, like, the world has ended, humanity is coming back kind of stories, about what humanity did at the end when they knew everything was going to stop,
Right.
I love the Horizon lore, I just find it a really creative way to think about the end and resurrection of humanity, or not the end of humanity, but like the end of modern society as we knew it. Yeah, but anyway.
Yeah, neat.
Yeah. So all right. Well, the episode will drop Friday.
Yeah.
Hopefully. Can't see why not. But
I don't see why not. Yeah.
don't want to try to predict the future, but that's what we have planned. And we'll be back here next Wednesday to talk about next week's episode. So we'll see you then. Discord, we're there. You can join us, talk to us there. Link is in the show notes. Will be shortly. And here on YouTube, we're pretty close to monetization. So if you wouldn't mind checking out our videos, that'd be great and would help us a lot. We need to get our watch time up just a little bit. And even though it's
the best way to do
really
it is
good,
just
surprisingly,
best way to do it is just to watch our content on YouTube as you're subscribing on Patreon.
Yeah, exactly. Sending us your life insurance or something.
Yeah.
Those would be great. So you'll find links to all those things down in the show notes soon. So